Outside the Box Reviews, we were taking a look at the Bandai Tamashii Nations S.H.Figuarts Ultimate Son Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. And this was a figure I was pretty excited to get, despite the fact that it's yet another reuse of the standard Goku body mold. I think the fact that it's just technically another character and not just a straight up different version of Goku is what's making me actually excited for this. But I'm also kind of excited that we get another figure release that's tied to the Buu saga, because so far those have been pretty sporadic across the line. So let's take a closer look and see if Gohan's just a cheap retool or a worthwhile figure of his own right. Gohan does come with a standard Tamashii stage, so we get the familiar rectangular clear base and the arm that will swivel at the bottom, hinge in the middle, and then hinge at the very top with the peg. And to go into that peg, we get Gohan's Energy Blast. I don't know if this is supposed to be any one specific move, but it's really cool looking. It's got this little tiny blast piece that I assume you'd have coming out of his hand. A little bit of energy effect there. Thins out in the middle, then gets big here at the end with a white tip on it, making it look like it's about to go hit something and moving really fast. The whole thing's done in a semi-translucent yellow. It's pretty opaque, actually. There's a lot of that white paint coming from both sides that kind of meets in the middle and just really doesn't make it that see-through. Though, if we put a light up to it, we can kind of create an effect going on. Actually, that looks really cool there in the middle. I might have to play with that a bit. Where it's thinner in the middle, it looks really, really neat. My other real gripe with it is that there is a big seam here in the middle, which is kind of obnoxious. As we've come to expect Figuarts, we get a great little selection of hands here. We get a pair of the grasping hands, a pair of the fighting hands, open palms, fists, and knife strikes. All the hands feature pretty nice detailing on them. They're pretty simple, basic flesh tone, but the fingernails are detailed out. There's the appropriate wrinkles where they matter. Well, I think we've gotten all of these hands before. I don't remember if we ever got them all on one character. It seems like a very thorough supply of hands for Gohan here. For Gohan's head sculpt, it is the most unique thing about this figure, and I think they did a really nice job on it. I like the sharp, spiky hair representing his mystic form. The way I'm kind of disappointed we don't get a Super Saiyan head just for the fun of it. It obviously makes sense that this version of the character wouldn't be going Super Saiyan. But he has a very, very sharp, angular, detailed out hair structure here, which is really cool. I'll compare it later to some of the previous released figures, but this is more detail than we've seen on a lot of previous releases, and I'm really digging the look here. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a Figuarts figure unless we had some swappable faces. The one I've got here to start off with is the pissed off look, and I think they did a really good job. He's got his furrowed eyebrows, his frown there, some nice subtle detailing on all the different anime lines, and I really dig it. I think it's a nice 3D representation of a 2D picture. Each head also incorporates in a little bit of his sideburns just to continue on that hair sculpt. To swap out the head, we take off the front section of his hair, and then we can unpeg the face. Then we also get this smirking face, which I absolutely love. I love they kind of give him a little eyebrow cock there. The just slight hint of a smile. I think it's fantastic. I love it when they include these little almost sly looking faces for the figures, just because I feel like it brings out a lot more personality than the normal pissed off looking heads can really give. Vegito came with a similar face, and I've displayed him with that a lot, and I can see using this face with this Gohan quite a bit. And then last but not least, the requisite screaming face. More great detail here. The back to the furrowed eyebrows, but his mouth is wide open. The teeth and tongue have some good detail on them too. And of course, it's a Dragon Ball Z figure. You've got to have this face, almost no matter what character it is. As I mentioned at the top of this review, this is just a straight up reuse of the Goku body mold, the standard Goku mold. But it's a good use of it. Of course, Gohan did wear this outfit when he became Mystic, or Ultimate as they call him on this package. And it's a great classic costume. He of course has the very deep V here in the front, as the characters used later on in the series. Blue shirt underneath. Shoulders are well done, giving you the two different tones there. Muscles around the neck are pretty good. There's a little bit of blue paint bleed onto the skin, but nothing horrible. Going around to the back, same basic detail there. Unfortunately, they're not giving him tramp stamp copyright notices like my Goku has, which is nice. The arms are well detailed, some good paint application here as well, having the normal flesh tone with some darker bits to bring out the muscles. Then he goes down to his wristband right there before the peg. I almost do wish these wristbands were for a separate piece like the belt so that they could help cover up the peg a bit more. Speaking of the belt, same sculpt we've gotten before, free floating here in the center of the figure. The lower torso here, it's on correct because this isn't a bootleg. Baggy pants, and the classic Goku boots down there. Really nicely detailed with the red stripe and the tie and everything. And some treads on the bottom, which are cool. My one overall gripe with this body, even though they picked a very nice orange for it, an orange that pretty much matches the non-Super Saiyan Goku look, watching the anime, this gi looks a lot closer to red than it ever does orange to me. Now, I know a lot of figures in this line have been based more off the manga rather than the anime, and to be honest, I'm not really sure if it does look more like this in the manga. You know, most of the manga is black and white, so it's kind of a hard color reference to go off of anyway, but I almost wish they would have gone more for that anime-style red. I could almost see that being an SDCC release down the road. For articulation, it's pretty standard. We have a ball hinge at the neck, so you can look down, up, and side to side. You add in the ball joint at the base of the neck to that, and you really increase that range of motion and give them a very dynamic movable head. Double ball jointed shoulders, so not only can they swivel around inside the armpit joint there, they can move forward, back, as well as out to the side. We of course have those great hinges on the shoulder piece, so whenever you move it, you can just kind of swivel that piece around to get it back into place. A cut joint there at the upper bicep, a nice double joint at the elbow, get a rotation, and then a Hot Toy style peg there at the wrist that will let you move and rotate so you can get the hand into all kinds of awesome poses. We have the classic Figuarts waist that will let you rotate side to side as well as tilt forward and back, but then you can pull it apart, get greater range of motion, and the belt really helps cover up that articulation point. Similar to the legs that will go forward, back, out to the side until you drop them down, giving them an even greater range of motion in all those directions. We also get a swivel at the upper leg, a nice double jointed knee. I love the knees on these Figuarts figures. They're all really nice. We get a ball joint at the ankle, and then the little hinge there at the toe. And for a size comparison, I could bring in his two father figures here, Goku on the left and Piccolo on the right, and you can see that Goku outfit is nearly identical. And speaking of nearly identical, I actually bought this re-release of Piccolo when this Gohan came out, having sold off my previous version of that figure, and I was really wondering if parts of the Piccolo body could be used later by Tamashii Nations to kind of kit bash their own version of adult Gohan in his purple training outfit, but Piccolo's upper torso is just a little too different to really work as a swap. And to continue on the comparison, here's Gohan next to his younger self, and next to the only other Buu Saga figure I currently have in my collection, Vegito. Well, that is if you don't count the bootleg Super Saiyan 3 I have. I really like this figure, and I feel like I shouldn't, seeing that it's 90% a re-release of a body we've gotten many, many times. I'd already kind of forgotten that we got it with Vegito, and that this is yet another figure just this year using that body mold. But I really dig the face they gave him. I like the different hands, all the different options we get with Gohan. And the little blast is pretty nice. Nothing great, I don't absolutely love it, but it's a cool little accessory and something we don't get too often with these figures anymore, it seems. So Gohan's gonna get a recommend. And having this figure has me really thinking about the other possibilities they could dish out with future figures. And unfortunately, Tamashii Nations has a horrible track record of showing awesome Dragon Ball figures and then never releasing them. But they have shown off a couple different versions of Buu. And seeing that we got this version of Gohan, I would really love them to actually release that Gotenks version of Buu. Or at least a standard version. I also think now that we have the head sculpted for Gohan, you could probably even incorporate it into some other character designs. I was looking back at some pictures and wondering if that new Goku body for Resurrection F would work in combination with some limbs from other figures and a little extra sculpting to make a great Saiyaman figure. But if nothing else, I feel getting Ultimate Gohan really means we need to get a Gotenks, Trunks, and Gotenks. I feel like they all would go together really, really well. And of course, a Buu for them to fight. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, username Outside the Box Reviews. Also check me out on Facebook, link below. And until next time, this has been our Outside the Box Reviews. Stay tuned for more to come.